start talking about players, what makes them great, and how you can add what they do to your playing to make you a great slide player. We'll also touch on a little bit of what I do and how you can do it, because I have kind of an amalgam of many players. The first guy I like to talk about is Ry Cooder, who I talked about a little bit earlier. I find him to be phenomenal in his note placement. And he approaches slide guitar a little bit different from everybody else. Very well placed notes, a lot of space, and letting notes ring. And he's going to do something like this. So as you can see, he moves slow. Everything is picked out the way it's supposed to be, his sound, and exactly how he wants it. A real perfectionist and a great player. Duane Allman, on the other hand, came from a different way. He listened to a lot of Elmo James, and he uses the scales more, down around the 12th fret to play, or wherever he may be playing on the neck. Like if you listen to Statesboro, he's in E tuning, but he plays it in D. And so he doesn't travel very far, except when he wants to accent the song. And to accent the song, you're going to hear sweet little snippets of slide all through every Allman Brothers song. So he's going to do something like this. That's an example of like the leads that he does. Now for other songs, he's going to throw little bits and pieces of slide in and out of them. And as you can see, he doesn't go very far from the 12th fret. He'll go down here to accent the song, but when he takes a lead, most of it's right here in that scale that I showed you. Johnny Winter, on the other hand, is all over the neck. Wild man, throws the slide all over the neck, hits wild notes all the time, but because he's playing slide, he makes it sound cool. And he's just a demon with speed. And he'll do something like this. And that's how he does it. He goes everywhere, throws the slide all over the place. Now you talk about somebody like Lowell George, who's completely opposite of him. Lowell George uses a compressor, a Strat, and a tube amp. I usually have this setting on the Strat, which is these two pickups, and right now I have all the tone roll off to get that kind of singing sound. But for Lowell, we're going to turn the tone all the way up, and we're going to go to a clean setting on the amplifier. Also, Lowell liked to play in open A, like Bonnie Raitt does, and since I'm in open G, I have to use the slide player's buddy, which is a capo. You capo on the 2nd fret, and there you are. You're in open A. Now, Lowell used hammer-ons and pull-offs and long descents and ascents to make his sound, and he rarely played lead. He only accented the song. That's what made him great. Paul Barrere, who plays for Little Feat now, fabulous slide player. He did a lot of lead work, just straight guitar, but he's taken over the slide chair since Lowell died 20 some odd years ago. And he's going to sound something like this. and that's how he would do something. Now, I, on the other hand, have kind of a different style from everybody. I do things a little bit different. I actually use slide and fingers together to play my stuff. It depends on whether I'm playing rhythm or lead. So you're going to hear me do different things. I might go. Now, the really important thing that you need to know about this is damping. I know I've covered damping before, but I think maybe I should go in just a little bit deeper. I double damp. I use this finger and this finger. Sometimes it depends because they just move around when they want to. In the heel of my hand and my fingers. That is how I get those cool notes to stop, start, slur. I can cut off chords. It's all very important. And to get the great clean slide sounds, you've got to be able to damp. And like I said, thumb across the 3 top strings, fingers on the other 3. That way, you get everything going. Finger here, slide here. Now the heel of my hand is actually more important for stopping notes. Good damping techniques. A great way to practice damping techniques. Pick, Keith Richards type stuff. And I press against the string. And that's how I do that. Okay, that's how you play the rhythm and everything. And you can do this with slide. And we're going to go into picking here in just a minute and show you a little bit more of this and a little bit more slide strictly with pick. Okay. Slide players are going to tell you that using a pick is wrong. I don't believe that. I think any way that you want to slide is the best way for you. It's just that when you slide, damping becomes more important. Mick Taylor, David Gilmour, David Hole, they all use a pick and they sound great. So there's no reason not to try it if that's what's comfortable for you. Just remember, damping, 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 okay? See, I cut the note off by having my hand here now. The cool thing about using a pick is the rhythm work you can do. My hand constantly on and off. Here, I'll even show you without the slide. See how I do that? Now, because slide is cool like that and picking is cool like that, the really cool thing is picking fingers. It's hard to do, but eventually you can get it. And as you look at my hand, you'll notice that I use these 2 fingers now. I'm still leaving my pinky off. I use these 2 fingers now, and I move up and down more when I play. And that's how you go about using a pick, picking fingers, a little bit of rhythm work, you know, a la Keith Richards, and Open G is just a killer tuning for all that. So practice this for a while, go on to the next lesson. I've given you a whole lot, and by the time you get done with this, you ought to start really getting a good idea of what you can do with slide.